episode starts with Jack on a park bench monologuing about how the difference between good and evil was being blurred. This leads to a flashback of a man on a date with his new bride in 1969. As they're having a nice meal at an outdoor restaurant, a mysterious man is watching them. They then go for a midnight stroll, and that's when we see that the man is a vampire. He pounces on the guy of the couple, who comes to just in time to see the vampire bite and fly off with his wife. In modern times, we see the guy, now older, on the streets, and he's following a couple on a date. The guy says he's new in town, and she says she has a place they can go to with the older gentleman in tow. She takes the guy to a back alley and begins kissing him. In the midst of passion, she bites his lip and draws blood. She then licks the blood off his mouth before fanging out and biting the guy. As she goes to walk away, she's ambushed by the older guy and staked through the heart as she goes to pounce on him. The vampiress in this scene is played by a young, before she was famous, Jill Hennessy.
Hey,
Come on. What are you afraid of?
This is a kick, but why don't we go back to my place?
I like the night.
Then I guess I do too.
Sorry.
He then runs off and hides in a church as he hears the sound of other vampires behind him. At the church, he finds a cross. When the man goes to steal the cross, a priest goes to stop him, but in the fight for control, a blade is released from the cross and kills the priest as the man runs off. Later on, Jack is at the church investigating the death of his friend and the theft of the cross. The priest who witnessed the whole thing explains the history of the cross and the desperation of the guy who stole it. It's apparently called the Cross of Fire and has some sort of magical abilities. He also goes to the club owner Van Hellier's home to ask questions, but is met with an assistant. That night, the guy who stole it is once again on the street staking out a nightclub. When the bouncer doesn't allow him in, he attempts to sneak around, but is caught. When the apparent security goes to confront him, the guy pulls out the cross, which then shoots fire and burns the guard. The man who owns the club then comes and discovers the body, and we see that he is a vampire. The next night, the guy heads to the club owner Evan Von Hellier's home, kills a security guard, and breaks in. It was Von Hellier who stole his wife in 1969. Before Van Hellier can kill the man, he presents the cross, which runs him off. The man heads upstairs to a bedroom where a woman is feeding on another woman. He uses the cross to burn the one who attacks him, but is distraught to find that the woman that is feeding is his wife, Michelle. He even locks her up, but he tells her that he has no plans to hurt her, and just wants to kill Van Hellier. She wants nothing to do with him and tells him she is not the person he remembers. Van Hellier returns with backup, who he tells to make it quick, but to be careful because he has to cross. When he comes in, he's met with all the things the guy used to keep him from Michelle. Evan tries to give her his blood, but neither can get through the barriers. Evan and his henchmen leave just around dawn and decide to seek Jack out for help. Meanwhile, Michelle pleads for her husband to let her go, and if he won't let her go, at least get her some blood. Von Hellier shows up to Jack's door and tells him that the man they're looking for is Kurt Bachman, and that he may know the man's location. As he's talking, Jack notices that he is not casting a reflection. Once Von Hellier leaves, Jack grabs some holy water and rushes Micki out the door. Out on the street, we see Kurt go find a prostitute, which he then brings back to Michelle. With Kurt's help, Michelle feeds on the prostitute. The couple then have a bonding moment afterward. Kurt then hears...
It's okay. Don't be afraid.
Kurt then hears a sound and assumes it's Evan. When he sees it's Micki, he tries to attack, but eventually Micki and Johnny get the best of him and take the cross away. Kurt heads back to Michelle, and she begs him to leave before Evan kills him. He instead begs Michelle to turn him so they can be together forever, which she does. Back in the parking lot, Jack is trying to convince Micki and Johnny that what happens between Van Hellier and Kurt now is on them and not their concern, but instead they try to run back in the warehouse in an effort to save Kurt, who they just unarmed. Back inside, Von Hellier and Kurt have a vampire fight, and just before Von Hellier goes to kill Kurt, Michelle begs for him to spare Kurt. During a split second of weakness, that's when Kurt grabs a broken axe handle and stakes him through the heart. Johnny and Micki arrive just in time to witness this, and before Kurt can attack them, Jack shows up and destroys Kurt with holy water. A distraught Michelle goes to attack, but Jack, who feels sorry for her, avoids destroying her as well and walks away while Michelle screams of the loss of both the men she loved.
Micki, Johnny, go! Go! Get out!
We then find out that it was his decision to not kill Michelle that was the thing he was mulling over at the beginning of the episode. While this is the only episode of the show that revolves around a female vampire, it is not the only episode about vampires. The season 1 episode, The Baron's Bride, is about a vampire who they must stop from traveling through time. In that episode, the main vampire is turned via wearing a magic time-traveling cape that is given to him by a female vampire looking for someone to replace the man she lost. The cape is activated when she bites and turns him. Shortly after the turn, Johnny stakes her using the room for rent sign that she used to lure men into her home.
Now, you and I, through eternity, will be bound. For with this cape, immortality is found. And with this clasp, we can travel through time. Just a drop of your precious blood, mixed together with mine.
Be ready for anything. If she's got it, I'm sure she won't want to part with it.
But first, you must become one of us.
Thanks for watching. If you like this content, please leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to know every time I update. If you want to help my channel grow, please check out my Patreon where you can get access to content early as well as see the content that can't be uploaded here on YouTube. Link will be in the description. Until next time.